Do you know what today is? It's day 91. 91. Happy day 91. Happy day 91. And it's 7 o'clock. This is quite early for me to have a video done. By the graces be. By the graces be, I am not just on the streets hustling like I typically would be at this time and hour. Because one of the jobs of the few jobs I got offered in this last whole experiment, these last couple of weeks, actually paid me double what I was expecting. Not 10%, not a little, double. And they gave me a signing bonus. And my other job that I got offered with the woo woo woo. Oh, I had to take a drug test today. That was, if your biggest fear was to get in trouble as a kid, anything like that's authoritative, like your system is clean. It's actually way purer than probably anybody has seen in that office. But you still get the tremble like, did I smoke some crack? Did I? When a police officer gets behind you and you're like, do I have something in the trunk? I don't know if it's PTSD or it's just conditioning. But anywho, happy day 91. Today, I thought was a wonderful topic to cover. And it just popped into my mind. Was it earlier today? Yeah, it popped into my mind. Because, let me tell you the title first. The title is Common Sense versus Cognitive Ability or Capacity. What's the difference? Because you start to get put in situations where your problem solving, which is a skill that you refine and you strengthen, your problem solving skills. But so few people are willing to actually figure out what the true root is. Think about how many unhealthy people you see. It's not because your grandpappy gave it to you. It's not because your work is stressing you out. It's because you have a pattern, darling. That shows your pattern, darling. That is truth. And rather than take responsibility, I know it's the seductiveness of pointing a finger, saying it's because of them, it's because of my parents, it's because of my ex, it's because of my job, it's because of my living situation, it's because of my president, it's because of. Think about it. Few people are willing to go to the root of things. They rather cope with just the symptoms. They rather cope with the smoke than see what's actually on fire. I mean, that's all you saw growing up. That's all that you were shown. And as I'm wrapping up this contract I have, with the grocery store, and I've already explained the type of demographic grocery stores typically attract. But then I'm like, didn't we always have fun with when we were kids and we had the little place that you could ring things up? Didn't we always have fun? And when you started being able to bag your own groceries, I remember I freaking loved that part for some reason. Maybe this was in the stars for me to do this stint at grocery stores. But I started getting bold with it. I told a couple of people that I've known for a while, and I just happened to see them on the job too. I said, hey, oh yeah, by the way, if you see me here next year, I effed up somewhere. And for the people I really believe in, I'm like, if you're still here next year, I'm going to F you up. I'll let you choose the aisle because you're way too talented. You are sleeping on your gifts, you're sleeping on your responsibilities, and you are sleeping on your purpose. Mind you, there's always going to be an industry, there's always going to be a sector that where they truly want to be there or they believe that's the best they can do. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. I like when my shelves are lined up. I like when things are flowing. I love when I love the supply chain management. I love when I go to the store and I expect to see something there and it's there. That took people to do that. Wonderful. But there is a certain temperament. There's a certain sourness. There's a certain, I don't know if it's the rotting produce that they're inhaling all day or what. But 85, 90% of the time, these people are miserable. They gossip. They complain about how hard it is. They complain. They get excited over little whatever's on the clearance rack. Like, actually, they get wet off of what was on the clearance rack, and they talk about each other. And most of them don't care about their health. They look like they haven't seen the sun in a while. I'm just going off of what I learned. Every break I take, I am walking outside and getting fresh air and fresh sun. For as long as I can remember, and people who have worked with me, they know, oh, Bree's just on her walk. I do not send my, probably out of, I don't know, the 80 contracts I've done with random grocery stores or other, throughout the city, I probably stayed in my car on a break maybe once or twice, maybe. I'm the weirdo. If it's a nice enough day, I'm laying on the grass because that energy in there is heavy. It's heavy. I told you how I got a verbal complaint from saying good morning too much at 5 a.m. in the morning for someone who looked like me. Not like this, not glowing like this, but who is biracial in Idaho. I was like, damn, we supposed to at least look out for each other. But that's where you sometimes mess up too. You expect people to hold to certain standards that you hold. You expect that people won't talk about people because you don't talk about people. You expect that um, people come to work this is an opportunity. Be grateful that you're able to. I am grateful every time I can be able to work. Absolutely. But I also know I am playing to what I'm settling for. I will play to what I'm settling for. And because I can do it easily, but because I can do it excellently, because I could do it supercalifragilistically better than most people, they like me. They want me back. And I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you thanking me so much? This is common sense. And then I said, hold on, hold on. Because if we think about the general terms, even just in our country, generality, the norm, common amongst commoners, is to be overweight, to be emotionally unstable, to be malnourished, to be dehydrated, to have this sense of victimhood, to have this sense of especially the demographic out here. I love Idaho. I do. That's why I've been here for so long. Most people are overweight. Most people are taking anywhere between 3 and 8 medications. Most people are complaining about all the doctor visits they have to do, yet they're smoking, yet they sit on their break, yet they're eating the processed food from the deli, yet they're chugging down Red Bulls, yet I'm like, do you not see the correlation? Oh, yeah, because you're numb. You've willingly went offline. I can talk from experience. Yes, I know, I know. Even the hypocrisy. I think I told you guys about Miss Susan. Miss Susan is a woman I worked with who has been with the company forever. She's 75 years old, still working. Almost had to get her foot amputated last year in a car accident. So I met her a year ago, and she was the definition of sourpuss. I'm like rude for no reason, rolling her eye. When you think sour, you think her. She actually looks like she's sucking on something sour. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. Like a cartoon character, like she could have a main role in Coraline. I love that movie. But she finally started coming around. I think she treats you differently when she finds out you're competent. But I'm not here to prove. I'm not here to determine how I treat somebody by what I think their competence level is. I either engage or I don't. But I'm always going to meet you, be cordial to you, respect you as a human being, respect you as another divine person, respect you as a piece of God. And if you show me something that I'm not really feeling, then I just distance myself. That's the only thing I have control over anyway. Why do I care how you show up? I've seen enough. And if I see differently, I'll update my stance. But this woman, oh my gosh. So I made it intentionally. I mentioned sometimes I got a smart mouth. I mentioned like, gosh, my facial expressions be giving me away, girl. And I was like, I ain't trying to impress you. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? So anyway, I hadn't seen her in a year. I was my like when you've shown me disrespect, you no longer exist anymore. And sweetheart, you want attention from me. I had somebody tell me that today. She was like, Bree, if you walk into the room and nobody remembers you, something's wrong with that person. I was like, oh, she said it something like that, but I butchered it. It was a lead that I hadn't worked with in a while, but I got close to her and her friends. I mean, her her and her kids. But anyways, so she started growing on me. She even bought me a tea, sour Susan. She even bought me a tea. Susan, if you ever see this, you're probably not, but girl, you know what it is. Anywho, I don't know how she found out, but she found out I was educated. She found out I had, 3 degrees. She found out like this was going to be my last week, have job offers. I'm moving on, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, she just started getting close to me these last like week and a half or so. She even bought me a tea when we were working on a project together. And she bought me a tea because usually the grocery stores have Starbucks inside them. Dang, I didn't realize how many Starbucks are inside grocery stores. Wow. We have a lot. Wow. I wonder who came up with that contract. Anywho, and she just randomly out of nowhere, she was like, "Oh, here's your tea." I think she knew I was fasting. I got you tea. And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And it was good. I think it was called a medicine ball from Starbucks. This was a couple weeks ago. So I'm guessing that's her way of making truce. I don't care. But I find also the interactions that begin with the most adversity or misunderstanding, and you actually come full circle and really understand what one of the, excuse me, are coming from. Those are the ones that kind of hit you a little different. So she's grown on me. She's grown on me. I'm not gonna lie. Come to find out, Susan is a devout Catholic. And I actually knew I was naming her. Sometimes I pop into different churches just to get a feel of the place. And there's a Catholic church right by me. And if you didn't know, I went to Catholic school too. I showed her the picture and everything. So, oh my gosh, she's a holy woman. And she was talking about, Easter, talking about blah, blah. And one day Susan came over and talked to me. She was like, so are you going to join us for Saturday and Sunday something, something? I was like, Susan, I pop in on Thursday sometimes for prayer call. But come to find out, the church I go to pop in, it's in walking distance from my house, is the actual church she goes to. I'm like, of course it is. Of course it is. And so she asked me, I'm like, oh, Susan, I have church every morning with God. That's why I get up so dang early. And she was like, I know, but I just want you to get to heaven. I'm like, Susan, saying this in my mind, are you joking me right now? Are you saying you are Christ-like, which is the goal? You've talked about every single person here. You treat people like they are incompetent and below your standards. You don't travel. You don't get out. I don't even know how you're still standing here. You're not approachable. You do not have God in you. When people have the spirit in them, they have some type of like life force to them. They have some type of glow to them that you can't really exactly put your finger on, but you're like, yeah, something's coursing through you. Something like life force. You look alive. You look alive. If this woman were to take a nap on the bench, I would think she was gone. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. She's dead. No, I'm just napping. Oh girl, you could have fooled me. And I'm like, and I just said, you know what? Maybe your prayers will get me to heaven. I'm telling you, you guys, I know I affect the room when I come in. People are mirroring that to me. I had a girl tell me today, she's like, the morale just goes up every time you come into a room. Promise to God. I make sure if I can to look, if I'm going into a room, if say there's glass, whatever, I look to see nobody's looking at each other. People are on their phone. People are kind of disengaged. I come in And it just, I don't know. I'm working on it. I wasn't aware till until people started, until I was open enough to receive people actually telling me that. There was a time and place where I believed that people were just telling me to blow smoke up my butt or whatever their motives are. If you only knew my dark side, if you only knew this side, who cares? They see this side. And that's still a part of you. So it's all a compliment. Thank you. Do you know how to say thank you? Thank you. That's how you that's how you tell the universe you can receive, you're capable. You can conceive it. Yes. Girl, so I was basically just talking about that because when they keep on asking me to stay and giving me projects, mind you, a lot of the times these teams have people that flown in, that have traveled in to help with this specific project. And it's local for me, so I just kind of show up. There's people specialize in this, and somehow they always end up depending on me. And I'm like, this is common sense. And then I said, actually, it's not. Sense is not common. Mindful, actional, emotionally regulated sense is not common. People get overwhelmed over the slight inconvenience. Their critical thinking skills have been smoked away, have been caffeinated away, have been chat GPT'd away. They're they're shooting blanks and hoping that when they're as their emotion is taking over, that will somehow feel like progress. It doesn't. It just makes you look like a crazy chicken, just walking up and down. And people can feel that and sense that on you. And I almost got in the trap of getting to that frequency, getting to that level, because I was just like, now I just felt myself starting to get irritated. I'm like, it's not that complicated. It's not that hard. And I'm like, what if it's not common sense? What if it's just your cognitive ability? You just don't have the cognition for it. You don't have the clear mind for it. You haven't learned how to regulate your nervous system. You haven't learned what you're grounded in, who you are, what you came here to do, what a gift life is, what an opportunity is to be around people and have experiences with them. I was practicing so much on just telling people they were handsome today. And thankfully, I got to see a lot of talent. I'm like, you are very handsome. You are so handsome. Tomorrow, I want to practice saying attractive. You are very attractive. I feel like men like hearing that more than handsome. We'll try it. I get to be around people, so it's gonna be a short day tomorrow. Thank you, and still gotta wrap up my some emails for my other job. I had to do drug testing today. Oh my gosh, for my transportation job. Oh my gosh, the hours and hours and hours of studying I have to do. My Lord, did my drug test today, cleared it. Did my fingerprinting, cleared it. That was fun, and I guess people are not used to genuinely. I get happy off of fingerprinting. And I got a piece of candy after that. I'm like, thank you. I have to give it somewhere else. But I could tell she genuinely wanted to give it to me. And I was like, oh, I haven't had a Welch or whatever. Welch's, well, the caramel things. I don't know. And I was like, thank you so much. And I could tell it was a pleasure for her sharing that with me. So that was lovely. And even the drug testing guy, he was a black guy, older black gentleman. And I could tell, you could just tell when people are not used to that energy because they're like trying to take it all in. And when they feel that it's authentic, I'm legitimately just happy to be here, to be doing this, even though I was fucking exhausted. Mind you, I've been up since 3:50. I even woke up a little late. I was like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep. I had a conference call with one of my coaching containers, but they're on the East Coast, so it's 2 hours ahead. So I have to be like in the class by 4 a.m. I wake up at 3:50 a.m. because I walk Raj before I go to work at 5:30. And I make sure I am whole by the time I'm interacting with people. People are still waking up, they're grumpy. I'm like, take some responsibility for how you show up. Not just what you wear, the fucking energy you show up with. So when people come to work and they're legitimately grateful to be there, they radiate differently. So it was nice. It was nice. It was a lot of work, but it was nice. And yeah, I ended up staying they always ask me to stay a little after because the common sense, I'm like, oh my gosh. So thankfully, my other job with the candle company, they've been so gracious. They're allowing me to I get a company phone. They just told me today. I'm like, that's freaking phenomenal. I got my official title as, it's so freaking cute. It's Chief Operating Officer. And she put calm a magical unicorn, which I think is so freaking cute for the type of like boutique work they do. Let me see if I can show you my signature. Um, what is this? But yeah, so the creative director, which is the co-owner, which is she's the president, so it's two women that run the company. And so they gave me my actual title, which is COO Magical Unicorn. Isn't that so cute? Can you see that? Can you focus? Focus, focus, focus. Yeah. Can you see that? Uh I thought that was so cute. The president told me that. And I was like, damn, get this. I always knew I was gonna be in the C-suite. That's amazing. I originally put my title as director of operations, which I'm pretty much taking over, but girl, allow yourself to stretch. It feels great. It's a little scary. You're like, how am I going to do all this? And I'm working this job and I'm finishing up this job. I still got to get credentialed in this. Like, I still have to take another first aid kit or first aid CPR. I still got to take another like vehicle securement test. I still got to take like the main big defensive driving test. They don't play around. But these credentials, I mean, I'm getting paid for them, so how wonderful. How wonderful. And I'm gonna have a van that I can use to do deliveries, to do all that for my candle company. I get to keep the van. This is amazing. So I'm just curious. And if I ever change my mind, I change my mind, you know? But right now I'm so, 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 so very curious and I'm so, so, so grateful. So cognitive common sense versus cognitive ability. What's the difference? Have you met somebody like who's really, really the way I could best describe it is they're smart, they come off intelligent, but like the decisions that they make or how they show up sometimes around people, you're like, huh, um, that doesn't really add up. Or someone who comes from come from the, the other side of town. Some people we call it street smarts. We call it street smarts. Like you are typically very vigilant. You can pick up on patterns really, really quick. Usually that comes from a hypervigilance, from always preparing for what is to come, for always bracing yourself. That is typical with unpredictable parents, usually parents who had either drug dependencies or some type of dependency. So you never really had a consistent image of what this person was. So you kind of shapeshifted or you kind of picked up on cues a lot quicker to know how to conduct yourself. And essentially that's the difference between cognitive ability and common sense. So cognitive ability is your brain's capacity to think, to process, and to solve problems. That is your cognition. When you have cognitive dissonance, that means two separate thoughts, two battling ideas, two, oh, I should do this, but I am doing this, are constantly battling themselves. So two ways of thinking are in your mind. That's where all your energy is going. That's why you need that three Red Bulls. Your processes, the way you solve problems. You want to solve problems efficiently. You want to be able to talk through your emotions, but instead you get so reactive and now you cussing somebody out and you're like, oh my gosh, why? Your cognitive ability includes your memory. Sometimes that can be distorted. Some statistics say we only remember 50% of what actual memories that we play in our mind. Reasoning, your learning speed, pattern recognition, like I said, and IQ related functions. Like this is basically the engine, your mental engine, your mental whole. Like, would it be horsepower? Basically, yeah. On the other hand, common sense is your ability to apply understanding in real situations. Street smarts. You pick up on the perceptions of what's happening and then you decide how you want to move forward. This could be practical judgment. This could be awareness of consequences. You know the rules, so now you can decide if you want to break them or not. Oh my gosh, I definitely read. Can I admit this? I did something quite mm, iffy as I was trying to get to work this morning. I don't know how this cop didn't see me. Like, this could have been a moving violation. Divine guidance. I'm like, oh my gosh. Totally ran a red light. Is that admissible in court? Totally ran a red light. Mind you, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black. And then I did a turn and I saw the reflection of the police sidecar light up and then go into the shadows. I'm like, oh, I am going to jail. I am going to jail. Might as well call out right now. Come to my surprise, nothing happened. No lights turned on. Oh my gosh. I was sure I was a second from hyperventilating. I'm like, well, this is it. Yeah, but common sense is how you live. Cognitive ability is how well you think. Cognitive ability is knowing. Common sense is doing. One is intelligence, the other is integration. Please know the difference moving forward for when you say, isn't this common sense? No, this takes a level of cognitive ability, and not everybody has that. You can be high in cognitive ability, but low in common sense if, like most people in the grocery industry. So no shade. I'm just talking from experience, okay? The I don't know how these people still have their job is what I'm saying. I'm like, how are you coming off pissed and deciding who you do and who talk to? It's because this is the only way they will get any force of any type of attention, even sour stews and any type of energy, because they have not took the chance to work on themselves and naturally let opportunities and people radiate and magnetize to them. They have to they have to complain. They have to gossip. They have to be rude. They have to be like, why is this person acting like that? That's the only way, sweetheart. What a miserable fucking life to live. You're gonna make other people miserable because you're miserable? How are you not fired? Isn't there a because how long you been here? Do you treat your boss like this? Do you treat your director like this? Cognitive dissonance. Oh, you just treat people around you. Okay. All right. Oh, she's a hard one, but once you get to know her, that. Fuck you, Becky. I got time for that. You can keep your attitude. It stank anyway. Keep it over there. I will be cordial and I will be respectful, but I will absolutely keep my distance. You keep that stank over there. I know how I absorb energy and I don't want nothing like that around it. And people pick up on that. And they want my energy around, whether they can admit it or not, whether it agitates their demons or not. And people want a part of you around, piece of you around. You can be high in cognitive ability and low in common sense if you lack emotional awareness. You haven't experienced consequences. You haven't got slapped in the mouth. That's what the Catholics will say. You overthink instead of act. You get overwhelmed so quickly. I'm like, geez. You know, the grocery industry brings in a lot of recovering people too, if you know what I mean. So they're more prone to overwhelm. They're more prone to, when they feel outside of themselves, getting self-medicating as quick as possible. And when they can't do that anymore and they just have never learned to eliminate stress or how stress is conducted in their body, they need an outlet. Sometimes they go to smoking, sometimes they go to just being overwhelmed and causing a scene for no fucking reason. Sometimes they just disappear and they just can't handle it. You never know what you're gonna get. And I just watch from a stance. I'm like, huh, interesting. I will never let these people see me get outside of myself. What? You've lost. You've lost. You know that, right? Ugh, it's disgusting to me. You let something outside of you make you look like a fucking child? Interesting. I have no judgments because I'm working on judgment. I just say interesting. I'm like, wow, I would never, ever. Sure, there was probably times in the past, but never let you see me, let you get that justification. I love to see when people are opposing me and I'm neutral, and they get out of their skin. I'm like, you lost. Even if I'm witnessing something, I'm like, you lost. You lost. You let this show how much it affected you. You let You let the external world show how much it can be affected by you instead of coming from an internal locus of control and being like, okay, the awareness enough to be like, this situation is it what I think it is? Do I want to engage or not? You have that space enough to actually contemplate, are you going to engage with this or not? What a lovely part of awareness. If you have strong common sense without high cognitive ability, it's probably because you learned through experience. You had to be effective and efficient. Maybe you didn't have parents or guardians around. You're present, you're observant, you're vigilant, you understand people, you've been around different types of people, you've had to probably rely on people outside of your guardians. You trust the patterns, not what people say. So you're able to look back. You're able to look beyond the facade, even with issues and problems. You're able to look beyond, oh, this is a problem issue. You're able to actually look at why it's a problem or why it's an issue. There's a squirrel outside my window. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the people. I'm like, you don't have to be here. I was talking to one of the girls. She was complaining, which is their love language. She was complaining about how one of the stores moved the schedule, or one of the receivers, or one of the main guys moved the schedule for them to come in from one day to another. And she was like, now I have to, it's a little further for me to pick up my kids from my therapy session. And yes, that's valid. Yes, I completely understand. But I'm to that point where I'm like, if you're unsatisfied, why don't you make a change? I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. Well, mind you, these people show up when they want to show up. They call out on a whim's dime. They're not predictable. Go anywhere else and see how long that lasts. Especially with a company who has a true reputation of being customer centric, being service excellence. That would not last. You would not last. And I'm learning to ask these questions so people can come to their own understandings and remind them that, you're in control of this. You don't have to stay, right? If you're that unhappy, you can start putting feelers out. Oh, yeah. Well, I even told her about a couple of positions I got. I'm like, yeah, I think in the company, they're still hiring somewhere that, oh, well, I got a prior, but you better lead with that. Then shut up. Then shut up. If you're not willing to change or you can't change, you might as well put on the goofiest face you ever put and just be satisfied. For now, for now, for now. But don't fucking complain. At least stay at neutral. These people are paying you. I'm pretty sure you declined the benefits because I could see that side rotten tooth right there. It's your decisions. You show up what you want. You have attitude what you want. You get to just do what you want. It's just enough freedom to keep you here. Just like Susan, 75. She was working on her birthday the day before yesterday. And I'd rather do this than have a career. Susan, you can barely get up off the floor. You can barely get up off from a seated position. Is that what you're telling to yourself? Is that what you've learned to tell yourself? Is that what you learned to recite? I'll get it. I'll get it. But you're also drinking a squirt in the morning and you're talking about, oh, yeah, I can't have caffeine anymore. So you substituted for a squirt and a bag of nerds, Susan? You have a colostomy bag. Why are you still trying to around to find out? You found out what your diet does, what your stress does, what your perceived faith is doing for you. You are not cross-like. You do not represent the church well. I would actually get the clergymen together and be like, if this is a representation of us, we're screwed. We're screwed. Nobody. She's recruiting nobody. Talks about. I'm gonna get off it. I'm gonna get off it. Once you stop drinking the Kool-Aid and pick you up some pineapple juice or celery juice, It can get real, real, real fast. And don't waste your energy. Converse with people who are curious about how you show up. That's how you make a believer. How you show up, how you are embodied. Don't push your agenda on people. Don't push and project what you think. Wait for the invitation to talk about it. Wait for people to be curious about, like, what are you doing? You look different. You lost weight. I love how smart you are. You're beautiful and smart. What are you doing here? Two people asked me that 2 days in a row. You're so beautiful. You're so smart. What, like, why are you here? Oh, I was like, yeah. My short answer, because it was at the end of the day, I was like, well, you'll go I said something like, you go where you settle for. And I probably shouldn't have said that because the whole team was around. And I really was not intending to make it sound like they're all settling, but maybe they needed to hear it. That's probably why it slipped out so easily, but that was my intention. This journey showed me something. Knowing what to do is not the same as doing it, baby. And not a lot of people can do it, or willing to do it, or want to do it. I show up full faced, smelling good, looking good, feeling good every morning without a rock star, without a Red Bull, without gossiping. I look put together. And it's being reflected back to me. What a blessing. So I'm gonna give it my all. Tomorrow's my last day with the grocery stuff, and then I'm gonna start doing everything else full time. All of my credentials should be done by then, and we're gonna rock and roll. And I just had a feeling of liberation, basically, of being like, let's just see where we can take this. It doesn't have to end in a certain route, but anything's better what you've been doing. You've been telling people that you're moving on. Now it's time to act on it. So, what a blessing. Without integration, knowledge doesn't it just doesn't change behavior. I can tell you that from what I see day to day in that industry. In any work industry, I'm pretty sure you can be similar to your work industry. Cogn Cognitive ability helps you understand. Common sense helps you apply. So, basically, the true intelligence is when knowledge actually becomes embodied and it actually becomes your behavior. Not what you talk about like Susan. Because people gonna be looking at you crazy like that. The math ain't math and it ain't adding up. Where is your fruit? Where's your fruit? Let me be curious about you. Let me be curious how you think or where you got that information from. It's starting to come more and more every day. So what a beautiful blessing that I'm actually embodied. Most people don't struggle because they don't know. They struggle because they haven't embodied what they know. All my smart girlies. And sometimes you're in the process of integrating of what you know and what you do. And you finally just made the decision, you know what, I'm going to do this. You know what to do. I'm just going to do it. And that's so free. And I feel like in ways your body would just thank you. Your soul would just thank you. I hear little thank yous from, I don't know where they're coming from. But I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that for me. Thank you for acting like, oh my gosh, I was doing a walk today. Raj and I love going to like business centers because they usually have really nice maintained walking paths, but not much traffic, because we like to go off leash. We like freedom. And something told me cross the street and go to this little coffee bar that I've been seeing forever, but I've never actually saw people outside. So I finally saw it was a beautiful day today. I saw people outside. It's called the Kava Bar. It's in Garden City for anybody who's local. And there's supposed to be an alternative like to alcohol. It's a type of tea, and I think it's a type of root, and it gives you the calming effects of alcohol, but it's alcohol free. So it's kind of like a bar. And I came out and I just talked to people and I was like, hey, I hope it's not weird, but like, what is this place about? And they were just so excited to talk. Like, we had a great little 5-minute conversation. It was amazing. And randomly, this one girl was like, are you a Leo? And I said, ain't this I actually am, yes. And one of the bandmates came in and I started talking. I was like, hey, what's your favorite part of this place? I was like, you look like a superstar. You look like you should be carrying an instrument. He's like, oh, actually, that's why I'm here. They have karaoke and I actually do play. I'm like, whoa, intuition's getting wild. So I'm probably going to have one of the guys I'm talking to take me there. And let's just see, I'm curious. They had something called a coffee circle that they were doing. I probably should have went back, but we were ready to go home. It was kind of in the area where I was getting my little drug testing thing done. So, yeah, we like to walk after that in celebration of passing the drug test that I knew I was going to pass anyway. But I was like, oh, I hope that wormwood don't go show up, all these dang herbs I'm taking. But yeah, what a blessing. So that's basically what it do, baby. Common sense ain't cognitive ability capacity, sweetheart. It's a difference. So when people say common sense, they really mean what is your cognitive ability to apply you know? Cognitive ability and common sense is your application. Your cognitive ability is your thinking, your horsepower. Got it? Got it. All right. Um, I've been up since 2 this morning. I don't know why I woke up so freaking early, but I could not go back to sleep. I was just in a drowse. Anywho, I love you so, 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 so much. Stick with it. The world needs you. The Avengers are assembling, and you need to be on the team. Okay? Happy Diet 91. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good, people. Be good.